Today, since one day, we'll go over some interesting halachos, chiddushim, and what the ramifications are. And next week we'll go more into the inyan of bedikas chametz, because it'll be an entire week. It takes more time. So, mimasai osa lechol matzah koydem Pesach. From when is it prohibited? Because we know you have to eat the matzah l'ta'ovim with an appetite, and you don't want it to become like cheap crackers. So when do you stop eating matzah that the next time you eat it on Leil Seder, we consider it something that is desirable? You eat it with an appetite. So he brings down here, there are different traditions of when you stop eating matzah. There are those that say you from after Purim on, no more chametz. We're going to maybe talk about what goes into that, because what are we talking about? Don't forget, this year there are ramifications for it, because it's Erev Pesach Chaliyas b'Shabbos. So what is considered the matzahs? We'll see. And some stop from Rosh Chodesh. Technically, it's only a minute, but halacha, even if you want to eat it the night of the 14th, meaning Leil Bedika, usually on a regular year, only on Erev Pesach is it also. We're going to see later on. We'll see shortly. We'll see that little bit. Peg Tazayin. It's not going to be so short. Okay, so let's see what he says on this. Kosher Haramah. This is a Ramah and Simon Tafayin Aleph. Seveiz Match Yotzim Bo B'Layla Asrum Lechol Kol Yom Yudalad. All you see in the Ramah is on Erev Pesach itself. Because of our Mishnah Berurah, Hainu Ma'amoid HaShachar. It's already from daybreak that you don't eat matzah. Vishnaham Shalechol Matzah Rosh Chodesh. From Rosh Chodesh Ad Kan. V'Yanchok Yaakov El Yorab Shekosu Gam Kein de B'Layla Mut. Even the previous evening. Udoloi K'Matzah Shekel Al-Mogen Avram Shekosiv the Gam Belel Yudal also, that is also on the previous evening. No such thing. However, there's an Igros Moshe Shehich Mekedas HaMogen Avram that the Leil is also also. Meaning, in Rav Moshe Feinstein's Shuvas, it's written down that there are those traditions. However, it's not what you call halachic. However, Rav Shmuel Hevi smuchim dal kapana vadein isalechol matzah ad yom yidal mamish afil below yidal shari. He says that you can rely on that. Dotnam b'mesech the psakim shebechol haleilas ono oichem chametz matzah. The mashim shekol leilas ad oisalayla shari gam bachilas matzah. He's medayik from the four kashas, what we call the four questions. That it says, Shebchol aleilus on oichlum chametz matzah. What do you mean chol leis? We haven't eaten it since Rosh Chodesh Nisan, or we haven't eaten it since Purim. So how can you say on oichlum chametz matzah for a whole month? So he says, you see from that afilu leil yudalid akan devorav. And someone showed him here Shegam Rabbeinu Chaim Alevi the Reb Chaim Soloveitchik Hevi Rayazu the Loika Matzah Shekel, like the Matzah, not like the Matzah Shekel, even though the Matzah Shekel says Leil Yudalad is Osla Halacha, but you can rely on this. Okay, that's one halacha. There are those that have different minhagim. There's not a question. Minig Yisrael Toirahu, and therefore you should, if you have that minig, you should keep it. Nusach Birchas Halonis. Now, there's a mitzvah to do Birchas Halonis during Nisan. Now, you go to Eretz Yisrael, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they're out there, because don't forget, their trees are already blooming. And Rosh Chodesh Nisan, you see, and you'll get all the paraphernalia of how they went out then. Even though the Rebbe Zatzal used to do it, even in Eretz Yisrael, he used to like to go out with a streimel, and they had outside his apartment, they had an esrog tree, and he did it on Chalamoid Pesach. But most people, Zrizim Magdimim, it's like Kiddush Levana, and they'll go out that first day and make a Birchas Alonis. But here in Boston, we have a colder climate, so we try to do it if possible. It all depends if it's an early Pesach or not. We've gone sometimes on an early Pesach to what you call the Arnold Arboretum, and no luck, because it hasn't started budding. You have to have buds, and it would be problematic, so you have to return back again, and it becomes more complicated. But the halacha is, someone goes outside during the days of Nisan, and you see that the trees are beginning to sprout, to bud. He hasn't, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world and didn't leave anything missing. He gave us good brias, beings, and nice trees, that for the benefit of man. And nothing. He didn't. Everything is what you call perfection. And because this is the text of the Shulchan Aruch, the Gemara and Shulchan Aruch and all the Paiskim. Not dava, but klum. Azay zokta. Now, he brings down the famous Gemara in Masechta Brachos. We learned Taiman de Nofik. You go outside. The question is on the text. Is it klum or dava? What's taking the Bostoner Rebbe? You have klum. That's the nusach, yeah. So he says over here, they changed around the text. And Rav Shmuel says, to say klum. Because of a pasuk in the Torah, because it says in Devarim, Hashem Elokecha imach lechasati dova. It says that in the Lashon HaPasuk, Ayin Sham. Because of, he writes at the end of the day, Ein l'shanis nusachas mesuda mekedusha elyon chachmei haTalmud umuskim b'chol haPoskim. Everybody says klum. Don't go ahead and change around things just on your own accord. Verani shigam b'seder ri ben Yaka hanusachu b'gemar b'shulchan aruch. And okay. Okay. Now comes the universal question. Is this halacha that you make a birchas halonis only during Nisan? Or what happens if you miss the boat, whatever the reasons are? You forgot to do it. Can you do it in Iyar? Or do it earlier? Is it only in the month of Nisan? If you see a tree budding, it can be in the dead of winter, you can go ahead and make this bracha. It doesn't mean that you have to dafke do a Nisan. Just so happens to give over what happened, what was the story there. Or you can say that it means the season of this in the spring.
How often can you do it?
You do it once a year.
What happens if you see it twice a year?
Because during the springtime, Nisan, Tkufas Nisan, is when the trees start to bud. I don't know. Good question.
Multiple persons from Australia and he comes here.
Okay, it's a good question. Huh?
Two different places.
Two different places? Good question. Let's see what he brings down over here in his commentary. Bebrachis daf mem gimel amid beis shaninu, the famous Gemara. Hai man denofik b'yom nisin v'chazi ilana de kamolavali. He saw those trees budding. Oima baruch shleichisa b'yom klum ubara babriis toivis v'ilanas toivis lisnois behem b'nei adam. V'chein hitik hamachabesim reish chavav. Hayoytzi b'mei nisin v'roi ilanas shemitziyim perach. It's beginning to blossom. And also bekafachayim hevi sheish oimim mediktuk loshin hagemara dafke benishin choish nissen yesh levarach aval al pirche ashkedim hamahar habikoyim choish nissen ein levarach. Let's say these type of almonds. You have already shkedim, okay? We said no choish nissen. That's how the kafachayim understands it. Omnon yain yuan b'mishnah brura shekased b'mei nisan orcha de miltza noket, because that's the happenstance, that's the common occurrence. She'oz derech atzois hachamim l'lavle, because that's when the warmer climates start to bud. V'uadim b'chodesh acher kol shiroi halavle v'pam rishim mevarach. If let's say it's a month later, it's okay. V'chein kosed bel yorah rabbe shem siv cotton. Aleph b'shem sefer tzeda l'derech hayin sham. V'ayin aruch hashulchin, and you look in the shulchan, he gives this commentary. Ubimedineseinu, our lands, our countries, Eina b'nissen ela b'iyah. It can happen on Nisan, but in Iyar, oitchil sivin. Because it all depends when it starts budding, like we have here in Boston. If Pesach comes out at the end of March, you probably can have to wait sometimes 2, 3, 4 weeks. We always try. Even I remember years that the Rebbe Zatzal did it the last Sunday, the last day or two before Rosh Chodesh, to make sure that he could do it, because he knew that you would come there in the middle of Chol Hamoed, you won't see a thing. The Ritva says it's not, it doesn't have to be Nisan. Wherever it is, where it buds. It just gives an example, but it doesn't mean that it has to be that. V'neitzah lehem ki when it's the beginnings of them, the beginning of growing the new crop. Mevarach b'chay adam kosev kisheroi lonis malavim lav dafke b'nisn. He says beferish. V'ayin oidayin shedakechayim sherach b'zeh v'hevi shekein das amot v'eshkel v'oid har poiskim. That it does not have to be in this. Being avoiding with divish arua and the kafachayim and the yorabba the chashulchin shehevinu the kavalas yaminisn hayna chodesh nisn. They do hold that you try to do a chodesh nisn. Ach Rav Shmuel Omar shedik the kloshin yoymei nisn loy mashmachi she'en karim l'chodesh nisn yoymei nisn, the days of nisn. Normally the days of nisn, when you talk about chodesh nisn, you say chodesh nisn, you don't say yoymei nisn. It means the tekufa of nisn, the season, the spring season. That kind of word. It's like you can say it's special. I am Birkas Yosef Shekosef the Bracha Zu Al Devar Emes Shaykha Dafkel Chodesh Nisan. He holds only Nisan. Avolim HaKavanah Tekufas Nisan Vadur Chodesh Nisan. It means when that's the time of the Tekufa. Shederach Eilonis Lav Tekufas Nisan. During the spring, that's when they begin to they blossom. And he brings down over here Kosev Shachasam Soifa Bahagiyosav L'Shulchan Aruch Kosev B'Shem Moirei Zal the Yom Nisan Hayin Tekufas Nisan in Taka Beferish that it means the spring. V'ayin Shal Shus Mechas Yitzur Kosev Shigam LaPoiskam Asoyim Shitzorach Davke B'Chodesh Nisan Hayin Davke B'Koyim Shederach Lonis L'Froyach B'Nisan. That's if it buds then. But if you're living in a town that it's not budding, what are you going to do? You're Einis Rachmana Patre. And therefore, Avol B'Koyim Shederach Kol Lonis L'Froyach B'Chiddushim Acherim Kul Almoidish Efsh L'Varuch. Now, Ulachem Poshit. It's simple. Simon says, the B'Medina Shebedarim Ha'olim, let's say you're below the equator, Shizman Prichs Elonis Hu Be'elul V'Tishrei, everything is the other side of the coin. Kegoyim Australia, Kedoyim, like Australia. Yachol Levarch Prichs Elonis Oz. You're allowed to go ahead and do it. Okay, let's see now your question. Just he happened to go out. You don't have to run after doing this bracha. Sefer. Say the brachas. If you're careful to make this bracha, all of Nema Ra Reach B'ni Kirech Soda Sheberchu Hashem V'yitin L'cha. Akal Shoinei. Umash, what this means is this is by Yitzchak's brachas. Shekavanosoi Sheish Lahad Acha Bracha Zu. You should do this bracha. It's like V'yitin L'cha. Uberach HaShulchan Kosev Refuya Bracha Zu Eisel HaMoy. People don't do it all the time. Avol Kol Tov L'Chochem V'Yari Hashem Nizhar Bracha Zu Akal Shoinei. L'chor Kavanos Canal for Isi Shagoyin Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Zatzal Hayizar Hayizariz V'Zay Bracha Zu B'Yoisa Upam Nishtabech Ba'atzmei Shema'ozi Yusi Bar Mitzvah Hayoisai Bar Mitzvah. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said from the day he turned Bar Mitzvah L'chisa M'lebarachoi Afil Shana Achas. He made sure to make this bracha. That's how important it is. And therefore, oh boy. lot of stuff on this. I thought it would take a day only. A lot of different halachas. Okay, just one quick thing because I want to go into Hilchos Pesach. It says over there, Haraya Ilonis. Ilonis is in the plural sense. What happens? The Haraya Ilonis, the mashmash time, it means 2 trees. That's why when we go to Arnold Arboretum, we always look for 2 trees. Not 1 tree is not good enough. You want to have 2 trees. However, he brings down here in Sachel Bracha Shtei Ilonis Dafke, Gamal Ilan Echad Evshel Levaruk, you can make a bracha. And it's not so simple, this halacha, but again, he brings down over here, we don't have to have it, because you have a lot of times, you have this lashon in the plural sense. For example, you say, Besurais Toivos, good tidings. It doesn't say Besura Toiva, 1 good tidings also. Or you have Haroya Chachma Yisrael, or Haraya Malcha Yisrael. Does that mean you don't make a bracha on a Malcha Yisrael if you only have 1 melech? But it's said in the plural sense. And he says, V'yishlachiach gam kein, b'loshen Rambam, d'loshen Ilonis lav dafka. The hachanos of Yoyzel Sods Laginas B'Yam Nisan Roy Lonis Parkas when it's on all Mavarach. Without the Sods Vaginas Lav Dafka. What does it mean? He saw fields and orchards. What? And if it's a tree or 2 trees, it's not an orchard. So it's Lav Dafka. Okay, we'll continue this in Metzhem next time. Rab Chananya ben Akash Amar Subok Zak Yisrael Lafik what? No, if they come, they come. We don't have any chiyuv. Lafik Achir B'Lam Torah Mitzvahs Shenemar Adonai Chofetz L'Matzid Goy Yagul Torah